All right. Welcome everybody to Set Real Talk Tuesday. I'm so excited to have Sheldon Bailey joining us. Sheldon is a
Hello.
former professional basketball player. Now he's an actor on Nickelodeon's Game Shakers. Sheldon,
Yes, yeah, that's
welcome.
thank you. Hello.
Guys, Sheldon is on the go. We were able to catch him. You can tune in to Nickelodeon to catch his show. But we're catching him. He had some downtime and is willing to get real with us.
Yes, I am. Currently in the airport of my hometown, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Well, it's my hometown is where I feel most connected to. I was actually born somewhere else. I was born in Germany, but I was raised mostly here. My father's from here. My father's family's from here, and yeah.
Okay, so how were you born in Germany? Who was in Germany?
Both of my parents were in the army, and they were stationed together there. My parents met in basic training in San Antonio, Texas, got married, and traveled to Germany, Georgia, and then eventually I landed in San Antonio. My parents got divorced, and I was about 5 years old.
All right. Okay, so from there, you in school got introduced to theater.
Yeah, around, I would say around third grade. Yeah, around third grade with my father, I started to notice, or I used to entertain my family at night. I used to do variety shows, so I would come up with these sketches, these skits, and it was really to kind of stall from going to bed, but it was also I had them rolling. I had good skits, and if I couldn't get them to laugh or be interested, I would realize that I needed to change something or adjust something, and I would have costume changes. I would go back into my room, so it'd be about, my father would tolerate about 3 sets. I could do about 3 scenes. So, and I just would just do different crazy stuff, and I would just wild out and pull from different areas to try to make them laugh. And yeah,
And
that's
now
when
here
it
you are
started.
making the masses laugh.
That's when it started. Yeah. But then I used to do stuff and play in schools. I was always interested whenever it came to performances or even chorus as elementary school, you know what I mean? And like being involved in church and different like Black History events at church, or let's say it's a Christmas event at church, or whenever we were in elementary school, they would have pageants, but they would choose maybe a select 10 guys to be escorts for the pageant contestants, things like that. I would be chosen, and look forward to doing those type of things.
Nice, nice. Okay, so you took it on from elementary school to high school. You mentioned that you had an eighth grade teacher who really.
In high school, yeah. Well, actually, ninth grade through 11th grade, I had Dale Davis, and Dale Davis was my guy. And then I had Hope Hines my senior year up in Durham, North Carolina. And they taught me a lot of different things. We played a lot of different improv games and worked on all kinds of skills. Miguel gave me a lot of the history of acting as well.
So at what point did you? I mean, you were acting and playing basketball?
Yes, I was doing both. I would go to theater class and then go to basketball practice. Or not theater class. I had theater class, but I would, let's say, we always kind of was working on a different project, like maybe a couple out the year. And so I would work on that project for about a year, about an hour or so after school with Mr. Davis and some other actors. And then I would go to basketball practice.
Got it. Got it. So, guys, if you're just tuning in to Set Real Talk Tuesday, I have actor extraordinaire from Nickelodeon's Big Shakers,
Yes, yes,
Game Shakers, and then so Sheldon Bailey is joining us.
yes.
We had to grab him. He's on the go, nonstop at the airport right now, heading to Charlotte and then LA. But we were privileged to have him join us to tell us what he has going on.
Hello, hello.
We can hear you. We got you back.
All right, cool.
So Sheldon, tell us, after you Play basketball, high school. You went on to college, playing ball.
In college, what I discovered, so I didn't want to be a theater major. Like I just wasn't trying to do that in school. That's not what I was gonna go to college for. So I stopped theater, but I just got this thing inside of me that just has to create and entertain. And so what I picked up was spoken word poetry. And that's why I discovered that the summer between freshman year and sophomore year, I was training in San Antonio, kind of isolated from what I had been going through in college and in North Carolina, South Carolina area. And I was reading a lot also. And I had everything that I learned in college and experienced in college that freshman year. It was like freaking overload, right? And I couldn't talk to enough friends about all the stuff that was going on in my head. And everybody was like, man, you need a journal, yo. You need to write a journal. So, or write a book. It was like, write a book, write a journal. So I started, but I was like, yo, this journal stuff, I wasn't feeling it like that. But I always wrote raps. I wrote raps like my whole life since I was a little kid. So then I was like, okay, so I just started writing deeper thoughts, but just in poetic form, you know what I mean? And so that was the birth of what I do musically, rapping and everything, and yeah.
Nice. So,
and I took that, I'm sorry, one more time. So right after I did that, as soon as school came in, I got into talent competitions, and I started anywhere that I could put poetry. I started putting poetry. Let's say it was a jazz night sponsored by Delta Sigma Theta or something like that, right? I'd be like, hey, Delta's like, can I do poetry? You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, yeah, you can do that. You know what I mean? And there was stuff like that.
So you were marketing yourself and making sure that you got your talent out there.
Yep. Been doing it for years.
So guys, if you're just joining us for Set Real Talk Tuesday, we have Sheldon Bailey from Nickelodeon Game Shakers television show, former professional athlete. Now he is flexing his acting skills, also musically inclined. So, I want you to tell us a little bit about not just how you got on Game Shakers on Nickelodeon, but also, what from basketball to acting, different skill set. Tell us a little bit about that.
But there's some similarities. And one of the things, a side job I've been doing, the side project I work on, is transitioning athletes into this business, because I have my format anyways that I've been able to follow, and I've been able to book a lot of guys over the years in jobs. Guys similar to myself, overseas professional basketball players, minor league players, Division I guys, things like that. I've been able to help book these guys in commercials. I got a couple guys that I hold close right now that I'm working with, but over the years I've helped a good dozen people really get into this industry, and pretty much all the top guys right now that are booking basketball commercials have worked with me, or if not, I helped start their career.
Awesome.
There is a connection between basketball as far as the charisma, certain level of charisma that comes into it. Obviously, being fit, athletic, having that look is a benefit. Work ethic is also a benefit, depending on the basketball player. Some guys work harder than others. But also, basketball players, I feel like in general, especially if you make it to a certain level, want to maintain a certain level of independence, right? And so most basketball players want the furthest thing away from a coach, which is a boss. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. And so this gives them an opportunity to do something that's fun and cool, and allows them to have the independency to also has, in a profession that really has no ceiling as far as money that you can make either.
Nice. So those are some great similarities. Having that charisma, having the work ethic, being able to get out there and then have unlimited earning potential based on what you book.
Yes.
Nice. So you left Charlotte, Fayetteville.
Yes.
Then went to overseas. So you played in Ecuador.
Well, no, first I went to college in South Carolina at Winthrop University. That's when I became a poet, and I took my poetry down to Florida International. I went to 2 years at Winthrop, and I went to 2 years at FIU. At FIU, at Winthrop, I was discovering that stuff, but I was like partying like way more and just like not necessarily being focused on being the best student. At FIU, I
Way to
became
keep
much
it
better.
real with us.
Hey, at FIU, I knew my GPA was going to start over and it was a second lease on life. And I was like, hey,
Let's get
I got
moving.
exactly. But I also became so much more involved in social activities at Florida International. I was really involved in the community there. I mean, I took the poetry situation to the next level because I had a bigger format. I was in Miami. And so I was at all the poetry nights. I was running around winning competitions, competing all of the time. But I was also in college, and I was a college basketball player. And I walked into being the vice president of the Black Student Union, and then I got voted. It probably felt like a coup to the guy who was the president, but I just was a very strong vice president and wound up being the president of the Black Student Union. I was really active on campus, and it set me up nice to for life after college.
So you had some influence.
I definitely had some influence on campus. I was a political science major.
Nice. Okay, so playing basketball, doing your spoken word, and then from Florida International is where you went to play overseas. Did we lose you? Guys, stand by just a second. If you're just joining us for Set Real Talk Tuesday, we have Sheldon Bailey who's joining us, telling us about, how he got his start. He's a star of Game Shakers on Nickelodeon. Sheldon, we got you back.
Pardon, sorry. I got a hotline going on. Sorry, y'all.
That's all right. We're just
Okay.
giving everybody a little background, letting them know you'll be right back.
All right.
From Florida International, is that where you went to play professional basketball overseas?
So it was a little gap, right after college. Well, actually, right after basketball season. I technically had another year eligibility to play basketball, but I was pretty much over the college basketball situation. I was on track to graduate, and so I decided that I just found an agent. I just like Google research agents, and I got an agent. Somebody, they was like, "Yeah, we'll represent you." And
Wow.
then,
How many of
yeah,
you guys knew that that's just, you just Google an agent and decide, because not everyone is up on how to get an agent coming out of college basketball. So for you moms that are watching, sisters, girlfriends, this is an option, okay?
But it was also it was trial and error. Because I paid $1,000 and I borrowed $1,000, I think, from my mother. I just asked my grandma. My grandma said no. But I think to this day she like feels bad about it. It's been trying like I'm sorry. I made it as an actor now, so she's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause she was like, I'll give you $1,000 except anything for modeling and acting. I was like, so now she's like super proud of me and everything like that. So whatever. So I went to this place called Fashion Rock, and they had a bunch of workshops. So I learned in the workshops. I competed in the competitions. I really felt like I should have won some competitions. I made some relationships with some people. Met a potential manager who helped me and got my first photos going, and actually my second photos going. And yeah, and then from fashion, so I decided I was a professional entertainer. I was making money doing poetry already. I was getting hired. I was doing.
So guys, we have a little connection difficulty. So Sheldon, hold on.
Yeah, I got you.
For a second.
Yeah.
So you said you were making money doing poetry.
Yes. Yeah, so I was doing getting hired to do birthday parties. I was competing all over the place. I was doing school engagements, the local college, Dade County, Dade County Community College hired me for an event. I did an event for Macy's corporate office for like Black History.
Working.
Yeah. I was doing birthday parties. I did a 60-year-old birthday party for this really nice Ethiopian restaurant, the owner's mom. And I was out there hustling, doing my thing. And then I was booking commercials. I did a Dwayne Wade commercial for Converse. Then I did a Gatorade commercial. Then I was Shaq's. I became Shaq's back model. That was the beginning of this whole freaking basketball player body double stuff, was rubbing icy hot on my back for Shaq.
So the icy hot commercial. So body double, you're a body double for LeBron James.
Yes.
So you've done over 20 commercials as a stand-in for him.
So there's a difference, right? So when I body double, that usually includes the stand-in thing, right? But being a body double is beyond being a stand-in. Being a stand-in, they get the lighting right with you and get everything set up for LeBron to step in and do his thing, which I do. And being LeBron's stand-in requires quite a bit of rehearsal. So we work these commercials over and over. So usually I have done the whole commercial multiple times by the time LeBron actually does the commercial. We actually usually film me doing it, show it to him, and then he does his thing.
Got it.
So
you have to learn whatever choreography, you have to get the whole look right.
The whole deal. And also, as far as being a body double is concerned, is when my parts of my body appear on camera as LeBron James.
Got it.
That's the difference.
Okay, so staying in shape is a must for you.
Of course. I should have been told the story about my workout regimen and how I've been able to stay even close to LeBron James in 8 years without any NBA trainer or anything like that.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Guys, if you're just joining us for Set Real Talk Tuesday, we have Sheldon Bailey. He is a former professional basketball player, star of Game Shakers on Nickelodeon.
Yes.
So Sheldon, you talked about
one moment. They're probably gonna start boarding in a bit, so I probably got like 5 minutes per se. Okay.
So we won't keep you long. We're just so happy you joined us. Because, we wanted you to get real with us, telling us how you got your start.
Yes.
Let us know, how you, from doing spoken word, how did you end up playing overseas and then on this Nickelodeon?
Oh, yeah, I didn't even get to the basketball yet. I'm sorry. So I was doing poetry, and I was making it as an entertainer in Miami. But I got my ex-girlfriend pregnant. And for whatever reason, I didn't believe. That was like I felt like basketball was a more secure situation that particular time as far as finances are concerned.
Got it.
So
makes sense.
To take the baby. So then I pretty much put that pursuit on hold, and I took the route I needed to take to get some money. I went to Brooklyn first, and I played with the Brooklyn Kings, a USBL team. That was like a little bit of money, and I had housing up there in Brooklyn. And then I went back to Miami for about a week or two. I was killing, and somebody got me a professional job in Ecuador. It wasn't much money, but once I got to Ecuador, I was like straight destroying, like killing, a lot of buckets, a lot of points and rebounds and dunks and craziness. And so I kept asking for bonuses. Like I was scoring like 45 points. Like, I need some extra money, please. And so I did that like 3 games in a row. And they was like, Mr. Bailey, no more bonuses, okay? Just keep playing good basketball. And I was like, all right, it's cool. But then I wound up getting I was fortunate. I wound up getting a second job there. I was another team on a lower division that played on different days. Asked my team, could I play for them for some extra money? And I was like, yeah, no doubt. So I was over there straight balling in Ecuador, and that got my basketball career going. Because what I did? I got my first credit card, and I bought a computer, and I bought a camera. a video camera because I knew I had to get footage, and I bought a video camera that had a hard drive, not CDs, not tapes. And what I did was I had a stand. And so I would give it to an Ecuadorian person to film the games. And so that's how I got my first footage in order to demonstrate what I could do in the professional game, to go on to different markets and the different professional camps and stuff like that. So I took that stuff, I got that video footage edited, and that's what got me going.
So do you guys hear this? I mean, talk about forward thinking. I mean, over there getting your passport stamps, making money, but also thinking about ways that you could get yourself out there.
For sure.
Wow. All right. So then how did you end up you were playing in Taiwan?
Yes. Yeah, that wound up, that came later though. The next overseas job would be China. I wound up going to training camp and the draft camp for China in Portland. They picked me, 40 guys out of there. They flew a bunch of us out to Hawaii. We went to Hawaii. I wound up getting kind of lucky because I didn't necessarily have the best draft camp ever, but based on how the drafting went, like the spot fell to me, and so it was like, boom, I got a gig. So now I'm in Shanghai, China.
Nice. Guys, I mean, it's like where there's a will, there's a way, and you just never know what this journey is going to look like, but either way, it can be fulfilling and a lot of fun. And you're over there making it happen and on the go.
Yeah, it was so in between the times I was still doing commercials and stuff like that. I had a job in Albany, New York, as in the CBA, which wasn't bad, but I was like missing my entertainment stuff. Like people were calling me from Miami, like, "Oh, we want you to do this music video," or "Oh, we want you to do another Shaq Icy Hot joint." I'm like, man, I can't. I'm in freaking Yakima, Washington with this minor league basketball team. Like I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I took a job in LA on the minor league team, and then so that put me in LA. And then I went to China, came back to LA, was in LA doing my thing, and I went to Taiwan from there. Like a guy just scouted me. I didn't even want to play in this game. I was like sleep, and my guy called me. He was like, "Man, you want to play against like the ABA team? Just like help them for preseason." I was like, "Not really, but whatever, I'll come." It was close. I went. I'm warming up. They're like, "Hey," the coaches come to me and they're like, "Hey, man, there's a Taiwan scout. He's scouting you. And yeah, man, just go have a good game, man. I think we got a deal for you." I was like, "What?" Like, so I play pretty good. The game ends in the third quarter because the fan goes crazy, whatever. They work me out.
Wait, rewind. What do you mean fan goes crazy?
Man, one of the guys, basketball players who was in the stands, was heckling the ref and just being super disrespectful. He wouldn't leave, and the ref refused to finish the game. So the game ended like in the third quarter.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Fan meaning player went crazy.
So pop this. This is I probably gotta go after this story, but it's pretty crazy. So, after the game, I work out. I shoot some hoops for this guy. And he's like, "Yeah, man, I want you to go to Taiwan. Like, can you go to like tomorrow?" And I'm like, "No, I can't go tomorrow. Like, I got my son at the house. Like, what are you talking about?" And then he was like, "Well, how soon can you go to Taiwan?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't even know if I want to go to Taiwan." And then like my friends are like all trying to like get me to go and all this. And I'm like, "What about my son?" I get him situated. And then so I get called for a LeBron job in San Francisco. And so I'm like, well, I'm like, all right, I'll go to Taiwan, but I got to do the commercial. And then this is like unthought of. They said, okay, we'll fly you to Taiwan, then we'll fly you back. Then the production company flew me from LA to San Francisco. So you fly to Taiwan, you play 3 games, exhibition games. And so they flew me out there. I played the exhibition games. They liked me. All right, cool. They flew me back to LA. Sprite flew me from LA to San Francisco. I shot the commercial with LeBron in San Francisco, flew back to LA. Then I flew back to Taiwan to start the season.
Wow. Okay, so, I mean, y'all hear this? So it's just meant to be for you to be in the acting thing, doing the commercials. You played a little ball. How did you end up on Game Shakers?
Well, from Taiwan. I followed that up with, I still did the King of the Rock Red Bull World Championship. And then I booked Shameless before Game Shakers.
Okay.
I booked Shameless after Taiwan, and that made me know that was a professional actor and I could be a professional actor. The show of that magnitude and that success, and to have a role that had absolutely nothing to do with sports, if it didn't confirm it to anybody else, it confirmed it to me as a professional that I was on the path and I was doing what I was supposed to be doing.
Nice. And that
Yes.
makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
On the path, doing what you're supposed to be doing and feeling fulfilled while you're doing it.
Loving it. And at this point in time, now that I'm on this kids program, I'm making so many kids in the world happy just by pulling up and showing up that, I mean, my heart is so full right now.
Love it. So you're Fayetteville. You spoke with some kids. What was that about?
Oh, well, I've been motivational speaking and being a dare role model. I started as a dare role model here in this city at 16 years old. But I've always been mentoring kids in college. I was always the team spokesperson and things like that. And I've taken that and grown that into a business. I do a lot of nonprofit and charity work, but I also do events for hire as well. The school flew me out and paid me to come and speak to their children. Nobody at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill Children's Hospital to do what we did with those kids up there. So it's a mix and match type of deal. But nobody said, even if it's my job, like what I do is out of my heart to really motivate and push these kids to be better. And they feel me, and that's why I don't know what it means to work, but that's why it has some success.
Nice. So making an impact, talking to the kids. Quick question. I just had a thought. When you were playing basketball, were you like the clown on the team? Making everybody laugh?
No. No, not really. Mm-mm.
Okay.
People gravitated to me. I was always a leader. I was always a leader of the team. A leader of the team. Yeah. I always stood out for sure. But I wasn't the clown guy. I mean, we enjoyed laughs, but that wasn't me.
Got it. Okay, so leader, I could see that, head of the Black
Yeah.
Student Union, and now here you are heading to LA. What's next for you?
Well, a new episode of Game Shakers. We got 3 more to film before the season's over. And then music, we got new music out there. Stronger Together is released. Take Them to Church are 2 new releases that I did with a singer named Kaylin Roberson, which are amazing. We performed these songs for kids yesterday. They're just really, really powerful songs. And so that the music, continuing that music promotion,
So did you write these songs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, wrote and arranged these songs. And then, yeah. So continuing the celebrity meet and greet business where I go to we went to Cookie Con, different events. Maybe it's a book fair. I don't know, all over the place with different events that I do where I pull up and, engage with people, engage with fans, and continuing to do all my good charity work. I'm promoting Sheldon Bailey Humanity. That's my other Instagram. It's all about my humanitarian work that I do all the time.
So guys, if you want to follow Sheldon, head over to @ShellBailey on Instagram.
No. At Big Shell Bailey on Instagram, @Shell Bailey on Twitter.
Got it. So we can keep up with you, see what you have going on your Nickelodeon show right now, and you can tune in, check your local listings, but on Nickelodeon, Game Shakers, and then we'll have to check out your music.
Yes, you will.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we want you to have safe travels. Y'all, Sheldon Bailey is set. All right, Sheldon, we're going to let you go.
All right.
Have a safe flight, guys. Thank you for joining us for Set Real Talk Tuesday. We get real. We're catching Sheldon while we could. We'll have to have you on again when you're settled. Will that work?
Yes, please. Yes. Thank you.
All right. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you. Tune in for Set Real Talk Tuesday next week. Same place, same time.
Bye.
Good night.